Hi everyone, good morning. I hope you are able to hear me. Can anyone please confirm?
Yes, Bhaskar.
Perfect. So today and tomorrow I'm going to take you through the sequel. Okay, so mostly we are going to talk many things and very important things that we are going to touch. And last session we talked about number functions. We have seen how we can use the round function. The very important function is the round function that is from the number. And we also come across the text functions to deal with the text data. With various examples, we came across it. And how we can write a function inside a function also we have seen. Now you are in a position, if you have done the practice, then definitely you will be in a position to write a function inside a function. Okay, so if you have a date data, if you wanted to deal with the date and time, then we're going to use the date and time functions. Mostly date functions are much more enough for us. Okay, so let's see how exactly we're going to handle if you have a date related stuff. The very important function that we are going to use in order to get the current date and time from the SQL server, we're going to use get date. The same to same in ADF we have come across with UTC now. If you already done the practice, there is a function called UTC now to get the current date and time. But only in the form of UTC, it is going to give UTC standard. But if you want to convert into IST, yes, it is going to be converted. By default, there will be UTC. Okay, so apart from that, there is a year function, month, day, date add. There is various functions are there. So let me take you through one by one so that you can understand how exactly we can use them. Okay, so you can type wherever it is required, I'll type it. Wherever it is not required, I'm just going to use the existed script. If I feel that is very basic, I'm just going to use the same existed script. Write a SQL code to get current date and time. 90% of the chances in somewhere around you're going to use, either it is in a Databricks or Data Factory or in SQL, there are chances to use this to get the current date. So when it comes to the Data Factory, how you can get the current date and time, and when it comes to the Databricks, how we can get it, and when it comes to the SQL Server, how we can get that, you should be aware of it. At least if you know one place, then you can think about how we can get in other places, even if you don't know. You can search in a Google or you can search in anywhere to get it. But I'm just going to take you through here in all the three different places how we can get it. So here I'm saying select get date as current date time. We know if I execute up to here, it is going to give the result, but it is not giving the column name. Because of that reason, we know what is the purpose of this alias. So alias is going to give the a column name for your expression. So this we can call it as an expression. And for this expression, if you wanted to give the name of the column, then you can use as column name, or you can also use the space. But mostly the best readable is if you keep the as, that will be easy to understand instead of having the space. You can also have a space. We already seen that. Now, if I re-execute this, you can see the date and time. And if I wanted to get the previous day means current day minus 1. So today is 19. So minus 1 is 18. So it is a previous day. So date minus 1 is always going to be date. If we say date minus 1 or date plus 1 is going to give only date only. So that is what I'm just trying to say. Get date as current date time and get date minus 1 is previous date or previous day. Just execute up to here. We don't need to write a from table name. When you go for Oracle, there is a from dual, you have to write it. Here we don't need to give it. And if you want to go for next day, then I told you, date plus 1 is going to get the date only. So for current day, if I add 1 day, then it is going to become as 20. So this is a basic thing. And there is a function called year function.
Bhaskar, sorry
Yeah,
to
yeah,
disturb
please.
you. Today is going to cover basics of database as well, or only
No, no,
SQL?
no. Only SQL. I told you right on weekend I'm going to talk SQL.
Okay, okay, fine, Bhaskar. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So if you want to drop, you can drop.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no worries. Now I have a year function. Okay, so year will be used to get the 4 digits of the year from the date. When you have a date, from this date, I wanted to get 2025, 4 digits of the year. Then we are going to use the function called year function. And write a SQL statement to get the current year. So when I say current year, you have to use the get date only. You have to use get date. And if you have a some date, if I ask you, can you get the 4 digits of the year from your order date, then you have to pass the order date. So from where you need to get is important. So here my requirement is to get it from the current date. And I'm just saying here, get date is going to give the current date, and I'm just giving this date to the year function to get the 4 digits of the year. Now, if I execute this, you're going to get current year. Now I wanted to get the current month. So same to same, in place of this year, you're going to specify month. Then it is going to get the 2 digits of 1 to 12 months. It is going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 12 is going to get it. So it is supposed to get the month in the form of numbers. From 1 to 12 is going to get. So to get the current month number, we are going to use, in place of year, I'm going to use the month. Now you can see 4 is getting. The same way I have a day function also to get the day number from 1 to 31. Write a SQL statement to get the current day. Now you can see current day is the 19th. And there is a one more important function is a date add. Date add is available. Even in Data Factory, I asked one of the use case, how can you remove last 7 days files? Last 7 days files. How can you remove last 7 days files? That I gave exercise the people who completed Data Factory. Okay, so when I say last 7 days, how can you say the age of the file is 7 days? Okay, so that means you have to take the current day. I mean to say current date, your file modified date, or we are going to take the modified date. So modified date means file created date minus 7 days. So this 7 days difference, I need to see this difference in the form of days. You can see the difference in the form of months also, or you can see the difference in the form of years. Whatever the difference you require, you can specify. Okay, so there is a date diff function will be used. In the same way, the difference, not only this, when you go for adding, what you're going to add? Do you want to add a number of days to the date? Or do you want to add the number of months to the date? Or do you want to add number of years to the date? The syntax almost all same. There is a slight difference when you compare with these two functions. But both are important functions. In my case, I came across this function, but date add, I did not come across with the date add. So date add is going to add and it is also going to subtract the number of days. Okay, so date add is going to add the days and date add is going to subtract the days. Okay, so you may use the date add function or you may use the date diff function also. It's all depends. In order to do this last 7 days files. If you subtract 7 days, the date will go 7 days back and you can take that particular date greater than. Or you can take less than that particular date, you can remove it. Or how can you remove last 7 days file elements? You have to take greater than. Rest of the files you need to keep it as it is. Either you can use the date add function or you can use the date diff function also to get to done this particular use case. So it is used to add or subtract interval to the date and returns a date. So what do you mean by this interval? Okay, so if I wanted to add a month, you have to specify month. If I wanted to add a year, I can specify year. If I wanted to add a quarter, I can specify the quarter. Or if you wanted to add a week, I can add the week. And how many number of weeks you are going to add if it is a week, or how many number of quarters you are going to add if it is a quarter. So let's say if I say 2, that may be 2 years. If you keep the year, if you keep the quarter, then that will be 2 quarters. If you keep the month, that will be 2 months. Will be added to the date. For that specific date is going to be added. Write a SQL statement to add 1 month to the current date. If I say get date is going to give the current date plus 1. This is always going to say a date plus 1 day. This means it is a 1 day. But I wanted to add 1 month. If you want to add 1 month, you cannot use the plus operation. You have to use the date add function. So date add function is going to help you to add, except this day numbers. Apart from this day numbers, you can add others. If you want to add a day with the same date add function, you can also do that. The only thing is you have to change this interval. So I listed these intervals here. You can see all the list of intervals. I just kept it here. Year, quarter, month, day of year, day, week, and so on. All these things you can keep it. The different varieties options you can also keep. 4 Ys you can keep it, or you can also keep the 2 Ys to add the year. These are all the intervals. So one of the function that you're going to use for this interval is your date add function. So current date plus 1 month, I'm just adding it. Just execute it and you can see the difference. Current date is 19th/04 and next month, 1 month is added, right? So same date and time, the only month is changed from 04 to 05. Same date and time, only the month, exact date in the next month you're going to get when you use date add function. And if I wanted to subtract 1 month, write a SQL statement to subtract 1 month from the current date. Then you have to use the same function date add only. Okay, we don't have a date sub function. We have only date add. When you pass the number, you can pass negative number if you wanted to subtract it. If you want to subtract, then you can pass the negative number here. Now I'm just going to say here, you can see. Let's execute it. And you have a 03 here. And another function is date diff function. And date diff function is going to give the difference between the two dates. Difference between two dates. The difference, if you want to get the year in the form of difference in the form of year, if you want to get, you can use the year interval here. Or if you want to get the month, then you can specify month. So in what form you wanted to see the difference that you need to specify. And you never get the date here. you're always going to get the integers. And starting date you have to pass and ending date you have to pass. I told you last 7 days means if you can pass the starting date and ending date, then you can get the number of days. So if number of days is greater than number of days between the two dates, if the number of days is greater than or equal to 7 days, then I wanted to take out it. So you can frame accordingly that condition. I may not give the exact condition here to remove the last 7 days files. You have to work around to get the exact expression. Most of you already done. And if you are not yet done, you can try from your side. That was the exercise that I have given. It is used to get the difference between two dates in the specified interval. And write a SQL statement to get the experience in the form of years. I wanted to get the employee experience. I wanted to get the employee experience in the form of years. Okay, so I'm just giving a generic exercise here. You can see what I'm trying to do. So this time I'm asking experience from the employee. That means you have to take from employee. So from employee, whatever the columns you require, you can take them. I just taken here employee number, employee name, and hire date. Now I wanted to create an experience. I wanted to get the experience of this employee. Then you can use the function called date function, and I wanted to see the experience in the form of years. So I'm just giving the interval as a year. And starting date is joining date. And ending date is your current date. So if you want to find the age of person, so birth date minus current date is going to give the age of the person. Here experience means I'm just taking joining date. Between these two dates, it is going to give some difference. That difference I'm going to show as a in the form of year. So if I execute up to here, you can see let's execute it. Let me take my testing database. Now you can see there is an experience in the form of years. So Smith is having 3 years of experience. Okay, so Blake is having 2 years of experience. Adams is having 4 years of experience. So years of experience it is giving. But I wanted to say little more like, the decimal places I wanted to see means what you can do is in place of this months, in place of this years, keep the months so that it is going to give the difference in the form of months. You're going to get the number of months. If you can divide this number of months divided by 12, then you're going to get the year in the form of experience. Just observe how exactly it is going to get if I take, I'm just taking alone. Now this time I wanted to get in the form of months. So number of months you are going to get, you can see here. Number of months is 28 here. You're getting 28. So 28 divided by 12 I'm taking. So if you wanted to take it, I'm just going to say divide by 12. This entire thing is giving, this entire expression is giving 28. So 28 months, I want to say it is it divide by 12. So when I say divide by 12 here, then you can see what it is going to give. So divide by 12 is giving 2. It is not giving the decimal places. So to get that, you can say 28 divided by 12 is going to give the integer. And if I said 28 divided by 12.0 is going to give it decimals. Just observe. So I'm just going to give the 0.0. Now let's execute it. Now you can see here decimal places are coming. but I wanted to round it. To round it, you can use the round function. We already know about the round function. Round off, comma, 1 decimal place, I wanted to round it. Then it is going to give the experience. So that is what I'm just trying to show in this place. You can see it. Experience I'm having 2.3 here, 3.2 years. So there is a one more logic also you can take it if the number of days, if the person joined by 15th, then you're going to consider that month. If the person is joined after 15th, then the experience will be considered into the next month. Okay, so these logics will be there. I don't want to go into that level, and depends on your requirement, you can write your statements. But here my intention is how you can use the date diff function. Is everyone clear with the date diff?
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if you want to see only last year employees who have joined, how to find, sir?
You have to apply the filter. So filter you have to apply where year of higher date equals to 2024. So in 2024, we are not having it. You got my point, right? You want to see higher date as year. Then you can see the people joined after 2023, no one is joined.
Sir, in year only we can give, sir. Date diff year higher date get date is equal to -1.
Can you repeat again?
Uh,
What do you wanted to do? What do you
so,
want to do?
like date diff is there, no, sir? Written date diff year higher date
Okay.
get is equal to -1. If we write, I will get last year's employees.
No. That you cannot get it. So
Okay, sir.
last year employee, this will give the what is the difference between the starting date and ending date.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Only the starting date you have to pass and ending date you have to pass. Between these two dates, it is going to give the difference in the form of years. Means it's not like 2024. It is like how many years? 3 years or 4
Okay, sir.
years? That kind of difference it is. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And then if you want to get the date parts, we have two functions when it comes to the SQL. One is date part function you can use, or you can use the date name function. And we have a year, month, and day. So these functions also we used to get the parts of date. And even these two functions also will be used. When we already having these three functions to get the parts of the date, then why we need to have this date part and date name is because we can get only three parts. We have seen many literals. I need to get the week number. You cannot get the week number with these functions. If you want to get the week number, either you need to go with the date part or date name. Okay, so again, why they're giving these two functions? When these three functions are not getting support to get all the parts of dates, these two functions, either one of them we can use it. Then why we are having these two is date part is going to give it is going to return number. Sometimes I wanted to get characters. Like month name I wanted to get. If you use the date part, it will give month numbers from 1 to 12. But if you use the date name, it is going to give Jan to December. So that is the difference. It gives a text, and whereas date part is going to give the in the form of numbers. So it is used to get the part of the date in the form of numbers. Okay, so I can get the year with the year function. I can also get the year by using the date part function. Inside the date part, I'm going to specify what I wanted to get. So what interval I want to get, that you have to specify inside this date part function. So date part is available only in SQL Server. You cannot find in other places. So in Data Factory, we have a format datetime function to get a parts of the date. So we already seen how we can use the date format datetime function in Data Factory. Okay, so in the same way, I'm just giving some examples to get the year, month, day by using the date part. The same thing, we can do it with the separate functions also. And quite opposite to date part, or I feel mostly it is same, only except in return type. Return type of this date part is number, whereas return type of date name is text. So except that it is very much similar. Now, if I use the same in place of date part, if I use date name, you see the difference here. They're going to give the text. This is not a number. This is a text. Number is there in the form of text. This is not a number. This is the text in the form of number. Okay, and here you can see the month name. We are having text data here, April. But if you use date part for this month, if I use date part here, then it is going to give the 4. So 4 is the month number and April is the month name.
So Bhaskar, how it is the date part is different with the year or day or month function?
You're going to get the same result. Let's say if I take a current date,
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
going to give 2025, but
yeah.
it is a text,
Now that you are saying for the date name.
of course.
Now date part is how date part is different with the year or date or day or month
No,
function.
both are same. Both are all are same. In that case, they are same.
Okay.
Okay. And then write a SQL statement to get the year, quarter, month, week number from the higher date. So for year, I'm using the year function. You can also use the date part. And for quarter, I'm using it. I wanted to get the Q1, Q2, Q3, something like this. So if you want to get, then you don't have it directly to get the quarter in the form of like Q1, Q2, something like that. Quarter numbers you have to get with the help of a date part, okay, or date name. I recommend to go with the date name because you need to concatenate it with the text. If you go with the date part, it gives the number. Again, that number you need to convert into text. So to avoid it, you can use the date name function directly. So it gives the number in the form of text. Then you can concatenate it. So 1 is going to be taken here. So it is going to give the Q1 because this is a text and this is a text. You can concatenate it. And date name of month is going to get the complete month name. And week number, it is going to give the week number if you use this. Week numbers in the form of text. But to say that is a week, I wanted to prefix as a week WK underscore or WK hyphen so that people can understand that is a week number. Let's execute it and see the result. Okay, you're clear on this, right?
Second row actually just to instruct us. Select Q plus date name, please.
Okay, so first of all, I need to get the Q1, Q2, Q3, 4 quarters will be there. But I don't have a direct function to use them. First, get the quarter numbers. Quarter numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. To get this quarter number, 2 functions you can use it. One is date part you can use. Or you can use date name. It returns number. Then you have to convert into text. And when you go for date name, it returns text. You don't need to convert it. So because of that reason, I'm using a date name here. Then quarter numbers is going to get in the form of text. If you use the date name, this is the output. If you use the date part, then output is 1, 2, 3, 4. You cannot concatenate it. If it is a text, then you can concat. So there is a queue already is there. This queue will be concatenated with 1 so that we are going to get the Q1. Clear?
The same thing you are doing for row, na? WK
Yes.
minus.
Same thing is happening for this also.
Okay, understood. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, in date name, first one we can give month, year, and quarter, and days also we can give, no, sir?
Any interval we can give.
Oh,
Any interval.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, and write a SQL statement to display e-name, hire date, and short month name. Now month name I'm asking in 3 characters. This will come directly, this will come directly, this will come directly. But month name, if you have to use the date name to get the month name, and it is going to give a complete characters. But I'm expecting 3 characters of the month. How can I get it? Can anyone give the answer?
Left of 3,
Anyone else?
or use the format function.
Okay, is that correct? What Pratik says? You have to think on what we're applying to get 3 characters. Then you can understand. So that is how you can write a function inside a function. To get this month name, you're going to use date name. Inside date name, you're going to give the month, comma, hire date. Then it is going to give a month name. Month name will be like December, March, April, something like this. But I need only 3 characters. So if you want to get the 3 characters, then you have to apply operation on the text only. You have to apply transformation on the text only. We have come across, if you have a text data, if you're applying a transformation on the text, then think about the text functions. If you're applying the transformations on the number, then think about the number functions. If you're applying the transformations on the date, then think about the date functions. Functions will be used for doing a transformation. Now here we came across, this is a part of the text. This 3 characters is part of the text. These 3 characters are the part of the text. The number of characters are fixed. I need only 3 characters only. In that case, you can use left function or you can use substring function. Of course, you can also use the format function. But you know already we discussed about the left function and substring function. Then what stops you to give the answer? Only Pratik is giving. You guys practiced or not? The last SQL session. You have to do the practice. If you can do the practice, then only can give the answer. And what you are applying the transformation is very, very important to take the function. The reason why I'm concentrating all these functions is because when you go for the data breaks, you're going to use the functions only to transform the data. The people who already completed Databricks, they already know about it, how functions are going to play key role. There may not be same function, but there will be a function. So substring function is there in the Databricks also. You can write the SQL code in Databricks. So Databricks, I recommend to have both Python plus SQL. Python plus SQL. When you write these two together, then that is the best engineering project. If you write everything in a Python, then you're a Python developer. You're interested to write in Python. Okay, so there are many performance tunings are there when you write a SQL code. Okay, so because of that reason, people used to go for both together. So SQL is very important for doing a data transformations in the database. So there is a concept called delta tables. All these delta tables, we can do all the operations, DML operations you can do, and you can do any other transformations apart from this DML. You can create a columns, you can apply offset operation, anything that you can do it. Okay, so sometimes SQL is much more easier to do the transformation. I came across many times. I used to go with the 50-50 percentage mostly when I write anything in the database notebooks. Okay, so SQL is important. So because of that reason, I'm just taking extensively here. You can see I'm taking the left function to get the first 3 characters. You know already how you can get the month name. If you have a month name, to get this entire part, this part is going to give the month name. This part is going to give the month name. And then you are applying the left on top of the month name. From there, I wanted to get the 3 characters. 3 is fixed. Apart from that, you can also use the substring function. So substring also is going to take the month name. From this month name, starting is 1, number of characters is 3. So substring is available in the Databricks. I mean to say, Databricks follows MySQL standard. And left is not available there. Left is only available in a SQL server. So execute it, you can see the result. So here you need to know the date functions and you need to know the text functions to get the first 3 characters. How many number of days are completed by every employee? How can you get it? How many number of days are completed?
Sir, we can use date diff function, sir.
Or date diff? And then what you can
Days,
pass?
days, sir,
Okay, perfect.
and get date, sir.
Starting date you have to pass. That is join
Starting
date.
date and get
Get
date.
date.
Yeah.
Yes. You can do like, even if you swap this, after execution, you feel that it is wrong. So you can swap these positions and you can get the answer. Because we may not remember the syntax. If you have an idea, you can search in a Google also. Even if you don't have an idea, you cannot do anything. You can see here, the number of days are completed. So if you want to convert this into years, how can you convert this into years? This number of days into years.
Divided by 350.
Yes, divided by 365 or 366. Anything we can take for reference. And write a SQL statement to subtract 10 days from the hire date. You can use the date add function. And I'm just giving -10. We already seen. And weekday names. So weekday names, again, you have to use the date name function only. Okay, so all the characters are going to show in uppercase characters as I have converted into uppercase. So if you have only up to here, then you can see weekday names with the initial capital character. But if you need to have all of them in uppercase, then you can convert into uppercase. And if you need only 3 characters, the same thing that you can use substring function or left function to get the first 3 characters. Okay. So these are all about date functions. These functions are much more enough to work with the dates. And format function also is there. That format I'm going to take you through with the database. And the next important thing is data combining. So data combining, without asking a question about the data combining, 99% of the chances interviews are not going to be completed. 100% is I used to ask. If I take an interview, 100% is I'm going to ask about data combining. So it's one of the primary responsibility of the data engineer. Data never comes from the single table. Data always comes from the multiple tables. When data is coming from multiple tables, as a data engineer, how you're going to deal with that? The people who are going to deal with the data, the person may be data analyst, the person may be SQL developer, or the person may be a data engineer. All the people should know about data combining. If you don't know the data combining, you're not going to be data engineer. I hope you're following with me. So how many of you know about data combining in SQL or anything? Or how many of you are not aware of data combining? Don't feel we're all here to learn. Even when I started my career, I was not aware of it. My background is EC. I did not know about all those things. I was updated. I was learned from someone else. Anyone is not aware of data combining?
So in Power BI, I have some basic idea about it, sir.
Bhaskar, I'm aware.
So only two are aware of it. Rest of them are not aware of it.
I was also aware of it.
Okay. Good. Good. I'll give one questions later some point of time. Except few people, I'll take the names. You just try to give the answer. Okay, so that is going to really help you when you go for interview. Basically, joins are very simple, guys. Okay, even if there is 100 tables, always you are going to join 2 tables at one shot. Okay, so that means you have to join 99 times. If you know joining 2 tables, then joining 99 tables is not going to much differs. There is very much similar. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little more about it. I'm keeping in mind you are not aware of data combining, so I'm just going to explain because some people may come out of to talk and some people they don't say I'm not aware of data combining. Even I was also there in the similar position. Okay, so we need some experience and we need something to say I'm not aware of it.
Bhaskar, I am facing when there are a lot of tables and we need to combine it. Multiple tables join.
Okay, definitely you will face it. Okay,
Yeah.
so writing a code is much more simple, but taking the join condition is important.
Yes.
So that also makes a problem. Okay, so let me talk about it. Okay, so data combining means it's a process of bringing the data from 2 or more tables. When the moment you see the requirement, you can feel that is data coming from single table or is data coming from multiple tables. So when the moment you feel data is coming from more than one table, then keep in mind there is a data combining. And we can also call it as a data joining or data merging. All the terms are similar. There are 2 different types of data combining. One is horizontal combining and other is vertical combining. Horizontal combining, we can call it as a merging, and vertical combining, we can call it as a appending. So this naming standards you can see in a Power BI, merging and appending. Even if you go for Databricks also, we used to go in the similar kind of naming standard. People used to call in different naming standard, but you can feel if it is a merging, that you are going to merge the data side by side. And if you go for appending, you are going to append the data vertically. So that is appending. Okay, so when the data is coming from more than one table, keep in mind there is a data combining. If data is coming from more than one table, make sure there is a data combining. That is what I'm saying, this point. So when you do the data discovery, you can feel that. Data discovery is important. When you're going to work as a Azure data engineer, then definitely first you have to do the data discovery. What data sources are required? What tables are required? You have to identify all the data points. When you identify the data points, that will say how many tables are getting involved. So based on that, you can identify either there is a joins or not. If all the data points are from only single table, then there is no data combining. You don't need to think about it. If data points are pointing to the multiple tables, then keep in mind there is a data combining. So once you have a data combining, then you can have two different things. Either you need to go with merging or appending. Then we need to know about what is horizontal combining and what is vertical combining. If the tables are having different structure and different kind of data, then we can go for horizontal combining. So this is the place where we are going to use inner join, left join, right join, full join, okay, and cross join, something like that. All these joins are going to use with the merging. And you may be aware of union, unional, intersect. All those things are appending. Okay, so vertical combining. We used to call them as a vertical combining. Okay, so I'm just talking about the first horizontal combining. There are okay, so when you decided to go with the horizontal combining, keep in mind there should be common column between the two tables. So two tables are having a different structure and different kind of data. And apart from this two, you have to identify the common column between the two tables. So once you identify the common column between the two tables, then only you can go for horizontal combining. The same thing will be there in the Databricks. When I'm going to talk about in the Databricks, or when I'm going to talk about the Azure Data Factory, I am not going to talk about the same concepts again. The concepts are very much similar. How you are doing in a Databricks or how you are doing in a Databricks and Data Factory is going to be different. This is without coding, this with coding, and SQL also with coding. But concept is 100% is very much similar. Okay, and the following are the different types of joins in horizontal combining. Inner join. If you have two tables, if I wanted to get the matching records means if this is a table 1 and table 2, if you want to get only matching records, then you have to take this part only. So this is what it is, a inner join. This is what it is going to be, inner join. Okay, and matching records. It gives only matching records between the two tables. I've seen people, they have a good experience, but they're not in a position to give the answer for inner join also. They have a good experience. Okay, so in the last week, I selected one of the person. Okay, so that person, I was really surprised. I got a message yesterday from my manager. What was the feedback from the client round? The feedback is the profile was very impressed, very great for data engineering and PySpark according to the profile. But he is having two concerns. One concern is communication skill. The second concern is he is reading from somewhere. He is taking a prompting. So I did not expect it, because the reason why I was not expected is because one thing is he worked with the IBM, he worked with the Accenture, and his current company is Tech Mahindra. And he worked as a lead also. Okay, I did not expect that person is going to take a prompting. because he's having a better companies and with better position, but still he took the prompting. It was identified. Okay, so do not take, that's what I'm taking, do not take the chat GPT. So you feel that you are not, people cannot understand what you're saying. Everyone knows. Okay, so you're trying to take other side, the interviewer is having experience at the same time, is having many things also. Okay, because people are migrating, right? They're getting updated from other technologies towards to the data engineering, but they're not doing proper preparation. The way you explain that says whether you're having a good experience or not. I'm sure about it. And when the moment you give the answer by taking a prompting from ChatGPT or from something else, there is a some gaps will be there in the answer, and the interviewer is going to pick some words from your answer itself. The question is going to be framed from your answer, but you're not going to give the answer. That is how the people are going to be captured. Okay, so I was surprised. Then I wanted to ask them to share the screen and throughout the interview, and I wanted to take the answer in that way only. Because if they don't share the screen, I don't know whether they're taking a prompting or not. Still, there is other options also, but still people are there to find it. And we are taking a recording also. The interview is getting recorded. And if something has happened, we are going to take it as for reference. Because after joining, the same question, if you ask in the offline, you should give at least 80% the same answer. Definitely you will give if you give the answer. If you give the answer 100%, you can give at least 80% similar answer. If not, you're not going to give the answer. So that says, because of that reason, we are recording the entire interviews, all the interviews. Okay, so please do practice. Remember your definitions by yourself. If you give the answer, there will be no lag. The way you're going to present is going to be identified, whether you're taking a prompt or not. See the camera. Do not see left side or right side, up or down. Just straight to the camera you have to sit. I've seen many people, they don't even take interviews properly. They will move that side and this side, and they will try to hide their lip sync. Okay, so please do not do that. Prepare yourself. Attempt yourself. You may fail for 1 or 2 interviews, but surely you will get it. Okay. So inner join is used to get only matching records between the 2 tables or 2 data frames or 2 streams. When it comes to the ADF, that will be 2 streams, or when it comes to the SQL, that will be the 2 tables. When it comes to the data frames, that will be 2 data frames. That means when it comes to the Databricks, it is 2 data frames. And left join is going to get all the records from the left side table and matching records from other side table. So something like this, you're going to have it. I have a table 1, table 2. You're going to get the matching records here also. Simple. All records from this side table. This is a left join. Quite opposite to left join is a right join. Right join means it is used to get all records from the right side table and matching records from other side table. So quite opposite means if you have a table 1 and table 2, then this part you're going to have a matching records are common for all the types of the joins. And this part you're going to get it. This is a right join. And if it is a full join, all records from both of the tables. Here also you're going to have a matching records. All records from this side and this side. Just remember this Venn diagram. You can give the answer easily. That is what the full join. It is used to get all the records from both of the tables. Now, if I wanted to get the records which are existed only in the table 1, how can you get it? This part only I wanted to get. In SQL, how can you get? Can anyone give the answer?
Full join minus write out that's all.
What it is?
First we should take full join, then next we should subtract from write out.
Okay, that is in the form of text, but
Mhm.
how can you write a code?
So left join minus inner join can we do, sir?
Left join plus inner left
Left
join
join
plus
minus inner join.
we don't do that.
So basically, what is the requirement? Sorry, Bhaskar.
So here I wanted to get the rows only in the table 1,
Okay.
which are not existed in the table 2.
So what you can do a left join, and you can put a condition where table 2 is not null.
Exactly. That is what I'm expecting. Okay, so because we are talking about the different structure of the tables. If you have a same structure, you can go for intersect or something is there, subject to correction. We can go for that. But here we are having 2 different tables and a different structure. So in that case, whatever Pratik says, that is correct. You have to use the left join. After using the left join, you will get some result. On top of the left join, you have to apply the filter where a T2 column is not null. T2 column is null. T2 column is null. Rows only in the first table is going to get. So it is simply, if you are aware of Power BI, there is a join called left anti. In Databricks also we have left anti. Rows only in the first table. That should not be existed in the second table. This kind of questions they will ask in the interview. How can you do it in a SQL? If it is a Databricks, we have a direct option. You can directly give the name left anti. If you go for Power BI, there is a direct option. But in SQL, we don't have a direct option. Okay. Is everyone clear, right? The types of joins.
Yeah, boss.
Okay. Now, one more thing I wanted to say. So I'll just give a brief idea about it. When you see this data, most of you people are already aware of it because I explained in the data factory. So here I have an employee table and department table. Employee table is having employee details and department table is having department details. These 2 tables are having a different kind of data. The data itself is different. And the structure of the tables, you can see a different. When you have a structure of the table is different, then we can say different kind of data we are going to have it here. Now, if I wanted to join these 2 tables, then you have to go for horizontal combining because different columns and different kind of data. So once you decided that, then you have to think about common column between these 2 tables. So common column is the department number here. Now, if I apply inner join, it is going to give the matching records between these 2 tables. So in this case, it is going to give department number 10 is available in both the places. So department number 10 will come. Department number 20 is also available. Department number 30 also is available. So 50 is not available, 60 is not available. These 2 records will not come into the output. So something like this it is going to get. So matching records are available here. Please keep in mind. Now you can see. So it is going to give only matching records. Is everyone clear with the inner join? How inner join is going to get? Any question with this? Perfect. Now the left join is all records from the left side table. Just take all the records. And matching records from other side table. Matching is happening only for this 3. So I'm just going to take this 3. Rest of them are not in matching. So if the record is not matching for 50 and 60th departments, it is going to get the nulls. If match was not happen, you're going to get the nulls. You got my point, right? All records you're going to get from the left side. And matching records are going to get from other side. Quite opposite to left join, I have a right join. Just take all the records from the right side table. And matching records from other side. So I have a matching records for only 3 departments. So when matching was not available, for all of them is going to get the null.
Sir, each record of the employee table compare with every record of the department table, na? That is
Yes.
the concept.
Yes, that is what it is a join. It takes first record, department is 10, it is going to check with the 10, 10 is available, then 10 will come to here. And then next record it will take, next record, next is 102 of department is 20. It will check department number 20 available in the department table or not. It is available. Then it will give the department 20th details. Then 103 of department is 30. 30 is available. The details will come. And 104 department number is 50. 50 is not available. So it is not coming is because it is a matching records. If it is left join, you can get the 50th details, but department is not existed for 50. So it is giving the nulls. Clear?
So the first row of the employee table compare every record of the department table. Yeah, every record compare with every record of the department table.
Of course.
So, suppose that employee table contains one row that contains department number 10. Then department number 10 row compare with every record of the department table. That is the concept.
Can you repeat again? 101.
101 Bhaskar 5000 male and department number 10. So this row compare with every record of the department table, na?
Of course.
Okay.
Okay, and if the table is indexed, it is going to compare only one time.
Then after then second of the employee table compare with every record of the department table.
That's what I'm saying.
Second
See,
row. That
forget
second row
about
that
it.
means department number 20.
1 minute. Forget about it. What happens here is for 101 department number 10, it is going to check is 10 available or not here. Once it is available, it will not check for others. Once it is identified, it is not going to check with others.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to have a primary key kind of things here. In that case, it is not going to check. But if it is not indexed, then it is going to check others also.
But here in department table, first row is department number 10. If that row is available in the last row, then it will compare one by one.
That's what I'm saying. If the table is not indexed, there will be full scan. Okay. If the table is indexed, once it is identified, it will not go for others. You're getting my
If table
point, right?
don't contain, if department number don't contain index and
Then-
department number 10 row, first row is available in the last row. Okay. Then
So wherever it is available, it will check the entire table.
then it will compare now 20 row.
Of course, that's what it is, a heap table. Or heap tables are going to be full scanned.
Okay.
Okay. It is going to scan the entire thing. Because you cannot give a guarantee this 10 is available maybe later also. Okay. So that is the place where we are going to have a indexes. Okay. You got my point, right?
Yes.
Now, the right join is going to give all the records from the right side table and matching records from other side table. And if it is a full join, you're going to have a matching records as per the diagram. And these records also you're going to have. And this record also is going to be there. So this is a full join. Okay, so they will ask you this kind of question they're going to give in the interview. Something is happening. Just give me a moment. Okay, so here I have a table 1 and table 2. This kind of question in the interview, they're going to ask you how many number of records you're going to get. Okay, so I have a 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, null. And 1, 1, 2, 4, null, null. And keep in mind, null is not same as null. Wrong. Okay, so null is not going to be matched with the null. Now, if I ask you how many records you will get for inner join, can you give the answer?
Inner join will get 7, sir.
So the people who already gave the answer in the data factory, you people can give the answer. Is there anyone? Is 7 correct? I think most of you are aware of it. So it is going to give the 7 records. I'm just giving the answer directly because most of you are aware of it. So 1 is going to match with 1 time, second time, and this one also is matching with the first time, second time. This one also is matching with the first time and second time. So that means 6 times is there. And this 2 is matching 1 time with this 2. So plus 1. So total 7 records. And simple rule for this is 3 times existed here and 2 times existed equals to 6. And this is 1 time existed. And here is 1 time existed equals to 1, total 7. You can give, right? So if you face this question in the interview, you should be in a position to give the answer. Okay, so
I
that is.
thought it will combine null.
Sorry, can you repeat again?
I thought it will combine that null values also.
No.
Okay.
They are not going to be matched. Null is like a infinitive.
Okay.
Now, I'm just showing here. I'm just dropping this tables. They are already available. So let me drop them. I wanted to take whatever the data I have taken in an Excel here. The same data with the same data. I'm just trying to create this employee and department table. I'm just creating with the same data so that you can understand. So no data is available in the tables. I'm just feeding the same sample data, whatever I've taken in the Excel and department. Now, if I wanted to join these 2 tables, this is how the syntax is going to be there. Inner join, select star from, just imagine star from employee as T1. Mostly we are going to give the alias name for the tables because sometimes table names will be little larger. So in that case, always recommended to have a alias name for the table. The way we have given alias name for the column, in the same way, you can give a alias name for the table also. Inner join, the join type you have to specify, and the second table, the table 2 On join condition, you have to give it. So join condition is required common column. So some people will say primary key is required, primary key, and foreign key is required. Okay, so we don't need primary key and foreign key. We don't require them. We are going to use only common column. We don't need a relationship to join the two tables. We require only common column to join the two tables. So join relationship is required for making a dimensional modeling, or to making a modeling, we require a relationship. We don't need to have a relationship between the two tables. We require a common column. That is very important. And left join, in place of inner join, you're just going to give the left. If you know how we can write it, then you can easily do it. And here also it is a right join. In place of left join, you can keep the right join. You just observe here, it is going to give the only matching records between the two tables. And left join is going to give all the records from the left side table and matching records from other side. And department number 50 and 60 is not having a department detail, so you're not getting it. And right join is going to get all the records from the right side table and matching records from other side table. Because if you observe for this one, here it is having only single matching. Even if there is a multiple matching, it is going to take the first record only, especially when you go for left join. And full join is going to get all the records from both of the tables. We can see. So that is what we are having here. Okay, so this one is just simple. You can easily do it. But if you have a multiple tables, and how exactly you're going to write the joins. So joins, you can directly joins, you can do the joining, or the same thing you can do with the inline views, or you can also do with the same thing with the CTEs, common table expressions. Okay, this is important. Okay, so sometimes this will give better performance, sometimes this will give better performance based on your experience with that. You can do it. Okay, so you can also do directly with the joins, but I don't recommend to do joins directly. I recommend to go with this approach. Joins will be there. Joins concepts are common, but if you join with the raw tables, then there will be performance impact. And always recommended to have this kind of approach if you have too many tables, too many logic. So that I'm going to take you through in the tomorrow session. So I'm stopping here, and tomorrow also, tomorrow session is very, very important. CTs are going to be explained. Okay, and inline views will be explained. These two are important to answer many questions in the SQL side if they ask in SQL. Is everyone clear, guys?
Yeah.
Bhaskar, at what time you are going to take tomorrow's session?
Yeah, you guys need to tell me now for tomorrow's session.
10 or
Because
11?
tomorrow is 10 fine?
11.
Yeah, that's fine. 11. 11 to 12:30 max.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone fine, right, guys?
Yeah,
11 to
boss.
11:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay then. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Sir, one small doubt, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I have one doubt in incremental loading, sir. Like incremental loading is done only for dimension tables, sir, not for fact tables.
No, fact tables also. All the tables will go incremental loading. Again, there are only two loads, guys. One is IL and FL. You have to decide. Only these two loads only will be there. You just imagine if you don't apply incremental loading for fact table, is that possible to load millions of records on every day? Simple question.
Okay, sir.
100% is no. Incremental loading will be there. For dimension tables only, sometimes if you are not going to capture the historical data, you can go for full loading.
So
Because
in
when
in real time when we implement SCD type 1 we explain, no, sir, but in normally we won't implement, no, sir, SCD type 1 or SCD type 2 will implement more.
both will be there.
Okay, sir.
If we have a locations, addresses, all these things, we are going to have a SCD type 2.
Okay, sir.
Okay, SCD type 2 is required.
No, I mean SCD type 1 we won't use no so much compared to SCD type 2.
No, that's what I'm saying. SCD type 1 also will be there.
Okay, sir.
Will be there. Okay, so especially in the goal layer, you're going to do it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.